Toastmaster Jay Singh is attempting his level 3 project from Pathways Effective Coaching. This is his project 1 speech on this level, reaching consensus. This project focuses on reaching consensus and the importance of including all group members in the decision-making process. The purpose of this project is to work with a group to practice reaching consensus on any topic. Apply the techniques described in the project to practice leading a group of people towards consensus at a club meeting. Choose a topic that will offer you and your group a challenge, but avoid topics that you know are unlikely to reach a consensus in the time frame. Then give a 2 to 3 minute closing statement on the experience or the decision. Your speech, Toastmaster Jay, can be persuasive, humorous, informational, or crafted in any style that appeals to you and supports your speech content. Interestingly, the title of his speech is of our speaker's speech is YLP, and it's a 5 to 7 minute speech. Over to you, Toastmaster Seetha.
Thank you so much, our speech coach, Toastmaster Nirrmala. Toastmaster Jay, YLP, Toastmaster Jay, over to you.
Thank you, Presiding Officer, Toastmaster of the Day, and fellow Toastmasters. Reaching consensus, very difficult. Huh? Sometimes members will agree with you, sometimes not. But what we have to do, let me tell you my experience with all of you. I will share a very small story that will elaborate more how I reached on the consensus. In 2020 March, COVID started. Everything was online on system. Before that, we were having our offline meetings in SNBP school. SNBP school, fantastic location for all the members who are living there. Amazing. Everything was fine. But SNBP said, doesn't matter. You want to do the meeting or not? We want to charge 4,000 rupees per month. There's no any negotiation. Then we said, okay, let's do one thing. Let's go for 50-50. So we will pay 2,000 rupees to you. 6 months, we paid 2,000 rupees so that we could block that space, because we want to keep the same place for us for the further meetings. But as we know, March 2020 to March 2021, March 2022, there was nothing like offline. And during that period, 3 to 4 XCOM changed. And one of the XCOM had decided why we have to pay so much amount when we are not using it. They took the poll and decision was to close it. Fine. After COVID over, or let's say almost over, we started our offline meeting and asked the SNBP school. They said, yeah, definitely we are ready to offer you, but this time the charge is 8,000 in month. 8,000. Our total amount was not more than 6,000, and how we could spend 8. Then we find another place with 5,000 rupees, only 1,000 above. But as we know, the membership goes so down. And we were not having even the 6,000, 4,000 in our pocket. We can't afford that place. One day, one of my friends called me. Hey Jay, I'm going to this Marathwada Polytechnic for one of my exam. Could you please accompany me? Could you please do a carpool for me? I said, okay, there's no problem. I had seen, wow, what a nice place. That is the place we are looking for. And if they are saying 4,000 rupees, 5,000, we are okay. I will convince all the XCOM members, all the senior leaders. Then I asked them, hey, we can get that place. And I can convince the management, don't worry, within 4 to 5,000. They said, Jeff, we are not having more than 3,000 in our pocket. So please, if you want to go ahead, then only 3,000 maximum we can spend. I said, okay. Then I went to the Polytechnic and Geeta madam, the principal or HOD, she said, Jay, I think you're crazy. Why? You know, I'm just a principal. I'm not the owner of this Polytechnic. Then how I can rent the Polytechnic property to anyone? It's not legally allowed, not ethically allowed, and there is no any possibility to do this. She clearly said 2,000, 3,000, 10,000 doesn't matter. She can't rent it out. Then I said, yeah, she's also right. She can't rent it. One side, Polytechnic place that I need, we need, our members need. Other side, we were not having enough money in our account. One side, they are not ready to rent it out. Then what we have to do? I think a lot, and then I found the solution. YLP, Youth Leadership Program in Toastmasters. And what it is saying, you have to conduct 8 sessions to get the credit. And my friend, when I thoroughly read all the condition, then I said, that is the best option. I went to the school, Polytechnic once again and asked them, we will conduct this session for you free of cost. Don't worry. You have to just allow us the place. One day, Saturday, we will come to you, offer you our services free of cost. Sunday, you have to allow us the same place for our meeting. It's a win-win situation. Now they are agree. Okay, free of cost with this thought that we can do, because even our children, they also need this public speaking. Perfect. Other side, our members, they want to complete their DTM awards. And that is the best option for them. They can get the credit with the YLP. One side, I was saving the amount in thousands, and almost till today, we have saved 25,000 rupees club amount by doing so. Our 2 members have already completed 8 sessions. So they are eligible to get the credit. And same time, we help more than 172 different students, train them, inform them, and educated them why public speaking is important, how they can learn it, how to create the structure of the speech, how to deliver a speech, what the audience is demanding, and how you can fulfill it. Students were happy. HOD is more than us happy. Our members got the YLP credits, and XCOM members, no need to worry about the budget. By doing, by thinking, by bringing all the members on a table, by doing this win-win situation, we were able to do this. And my friends, there is always a solution. Try to find it, how we can provide win-win to all. With this, let me give the control back to Toastmaster. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Toastmaster Jay, for this amazing speech. YLP, wow, fantastic. We'll have a 1-minute silence for all of our audience to share their comments to you. Thirty seconds more. All right. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. We now have our second speaker, target speaker, Toastmaster Girija. But before we go there, may I invite Toastmaster Sapna to share the speech objectives?
Toastmaster of the day, there are no speech objectives as Girija is delivering her area level, I think division level ISC speech. So I'll be evaluating based on that.
Thank you. Thank you so much for clarifying that, Toastmaster Sapna. All right. So we have our second speaker, Toastmaster Girija, with us today. Her speech, as I'm looking up with my report, just give me. Yes. Toastmaster Girija, my mother, my maker. My mother, my maker, Toastmaster Girija. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. A mother wears many hats. My mother did too. She was a master chef, assistant chef, nurse, advisor, financial planner, wardrobe designer, secretary, teacher, all rolled in one. And all these did help me in my physical, intellectual, and material growth. But what was the special about her impact was the intrinsic, inspiring value that she brought to my life. For many of these roles, I would have got better people, more competent professionals at a cost. But the impactful, inspiring influence that she brought to my life, I would have never, ever got at any cost. I will share 3 incidents that happened that will illustrate to you why I'm saying this. I was an undergrad student. I participated in an all India level public speaking contest. My mother and father had accompanied me. From Nagarkoil, we had traveled to Chennai, and we were there. It was a nail-biting competition. At the end of it, my name was announced as the winner. I sprinted to the stage. There was a huge trophy, a certificate, and the surprise of surprises was they announced a cash prize of 500 rupees. 500 in 1975, that was a huge amount. I was in cloud 9 when I signed the register. I heard my father telling my mother, do you know the price of 10 grams of gold, 1 sovereign, is 540 rupees. That is what she has earned in one day. And I heard my mother saying, it is not in one day. She has been working for this for the last 1 month. And then after it was all over and I came out, my father hugged me and he said, do you know, this is what I earn after I teach 100 students shorthand for 1 full month. That is 5 rupees per month fee. I was so exalted, happy. We had dinner. We went back to the hotel room. And with excitement, I opened the envelope. And what I find there was that there was just 100 rupee note mocking at us. I got the shock of my life. I was crestfallen. I told my mother, we must go back and report to the organizers. How can they do this to us? She said, calm down. Did we come here for this money or for the experience? We listened to 26 students from all over India. And for the life of me, I could not even guess how can they ever decide who is going to be the best speaker? But only when I explained the criteria, I understood. And I felt, wow, my daughter has done all this. The planning, preparation, practice, and the presentation. What you learned from this, the attitude and the skills, they are invaluable. That's it. So we all went back home. And after a month, my principal called me to the cabin and he said, Girija, you got this first rotating trophy for all India level public speaking contest. We are very proud of you. Thank you, sir. I said, but how much cash prize did you get? How much money exactly did you get? So 100 rupees. What was announced there? 500 rupees. Then why didn't you report this to me? So my parents said the money is insignificant compared to the experience that we got, which is invaluable. So my principal said, I commend your parents. I salute your parents for the lofty values that they have taught you. See, here is a letter from the organizer saying that the first prize and the third prize envelopes were swapped. And here it is for you. And he gave me a check of 500 rupees again. So the first value that I learned is the value of education. She taught me how to identify the core value of education, that is experience. Cut to 1988. I was divorced. Nobody in my family, no one I knew has ever gone through a divorce. I was with my parents and a relative visited us and tongues wagged. So the relative said, she's just 29 and she's got encumbrances, and that to two girls, they're burdens to her. Who will ever marry her? Her husband is 36 and he's already getting married. I suggest that you adopt these girls and give her in marriage. I looked at my mother with eyes brimming with tears and I nodded at her. My mother nodded at me and she said, Seshadri, cages are created in the minds. You don't decide that for her life, her children will be her burden. If a person realizes the value of her children, he will marry her with that. Otherwise, that is not the end of life. And she looked at me and she said, Giri, I have read a story of an ant which carries a huge leaf. It is so focused and is walking ahead. And every person says, oh, the ant is so foolish. But the ant, whenever it sees cracks on the floor, which it cannot cross by itself, it places the leaf down, crosses over, takes the leaf again, puts it on its head and goes ahead like this. Life is all about that. Relationships are mutually supportive. So don't ever worry. If somebody finds value in your children, he will marry you for that sake. And if it doesn't happen, marriage is not the be all and end all of life. So she taught me the core value of a person, that is the value of responsibility, the sense of responsibility the person has. Then she was at age 70. She was detected with throat cancer. She never said, I don't even take a single cup of coffee, forget tobacco or cigarettes. Why did I get it? Why me? Instead, she said, God is asking me to get ready. And because it was early diagnosis, luckily she escaped with some radiotherapy. 7 years of life she got again, and then she was again stuck with breast cancer. She was taken to the surgery room and we were all upset. And she looked at us and she consoled us. And she said, don't worry. And behind her pillow, she took this down and she said, with the love and blessings of all these divine beings, I have had the love of all of you children. I enjoyed a beautiful life. If I go today, I have no regrets and you also should have none. I have had a fulfilled life. And if I come back, that is a blessing that God has given to me. And she did come back and she spent 1 more year with us. That's all. But it was a beautiful time that we all had together. So she taught me the value of life with that one sentence. That is, the value of life is love and faith. And that is going to take us ahead in life. So that is why I say, my mother, my maker. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Girija, for the amazing speech. We will have a 1-minute silence to share our feedback to Toastmaster Girija. Twenty seconds more. All right. Thank you, everyone. Before I further dig into your burgeoning memories of November, let me invite our timer to give his timer report. Over to you, Toastmaster Phalgunan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sita. Toastmaster Jay has taken 7 minutes, 30 seconds, 0.82 milliseconds. And Toastmaster Girija has taken 7 minutes, 34 seconds, 82 milliseconds. And there was a delay from my side to show the green card for Girija, but the yellow card and the red card were shown on time. Back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Phalgunan, for the timing report. Coming back to our theme, November to remember. We saw about the November rain song. We heard some of you speak about what sort of best memories that you could think of November. We obviously touched upon the most favorite of the topics, the food in November. November will fall short, or if it had a brain, it will accuse me saying, what are the best places to visit in November? Seetha, you didn't bring that up. So again, I looked at, if I had to plan a journey for the month of November, and we know December is typically the vacation time. It's nice, fine, but November, is there anything special? A lot of very interesting places came up. We can still tour or plan a small mini tour in the month of November. And those places that I could gather was Goa, Jaisalmer and its fort, Manali, the Kutch festival in the Ran of Kutch. I believe this year it starts from 26th October to 20th of February. Pushkar in Rajasthan, and close to where I live, Hampi, Coorg, Wayanad, Chikmagalur down south. The monsoons would have dipped, and the pleasantness of the place would be very much visible. And staying a little bit away, Gulmarg, Meghalaya. These are the places that I picked up from some of the popular tourism websites on what places, if we had to plan a travel, it would be in November. Just wanted to ask some of you, one or two responses. If you have to plan a journey in November, the places that I have mentioned, anything new or interesting that comes to your mind? Best places to visit in November, Toastmasters. Yes, go ahead, Toastmasters.
Varanasi is most beautiful during November. They have the entire, both the sides of the river. They are lit up with small diyas and so beautiful. They have, if Dev Diwali coincides at the time, it is so beautiful to go on the boat. On every ghat, they have different performances performed one after the other. Ghat number 1 will have something from Rajasthan, ghat number 2 will something have Kerala, and ghat number 3 will have something from Tamil Nadu. So it is so beautiful to watch. I was there incidentally last time because of a conference, and then I realized what a beautiful experience it was. I never knew about anything about this, but it is a beautiful experience. One must not miss it.
Fantastic, Toastmaster Girija. I should have spoken to you a little earlier. I booked my Varanasi trip in December 25th to 29th. So 1 month later, but hopefully it is as best as November. All right. So with that, before we go to the next session, just wanted to spend a little bit more time, and nothing goes off. Okay, I see a hand out there. Toastmaster Atul, your favorite place to visit, I would assume. So go ahead,
Yes,
please.
I could not help raising my hand, Toastmaster Seetha, because I suffered when I visited the Himalayas or the Uttarakhand during the monsoon season, or even in May. So the month of May to July, August is not good season to visit the mountains, because either you will have the summer smoke, fire will be there in the jungles, or in the monsoon, it is raining, clouds, so you cannot have a wonderful view of the Himalayas, snow-clad Himalayas. So October to December is the month if you want to sight the beautiful, cool and calm, snow-clad mountain Himalayan ranges from Uttarakhand, from Rishikesh and places like that. Visit October, November, December, because the air is very clean. Everything is washed. So go for Himalayan sighting from Uttarakhand or from the upper hills of UP. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Atul, for this suggestion. So before we go to the next session, it's important that each of us would need to feel nice about something about ourselves, right? Which is the birthdays in November. November is known for its specific gemstone, birthstone, if whatever term you may think of. Topaz is actually it's a stone, it's a gemstone or a birthstone, and that is what symbolizes November. And It's a symbol of strength and honor. It's believed that the Greeks had used the stone for making themselves invisible. But the point that we have to look at is it's a very radiant sort of a stone. And another interesting aspect about November is, like a birthstone that we speak about November, there is an interesting flower that is symbolic of November. Any guesses? Any guesses? November, it starts with C. I'll give you a clue. Second word is H.
Chrysanthemum?
Excellent, excellent. Chrysanthemum, that's right. So it's exactly what symbolizes November. It symbolizes cheerfulness as well. Of course, it comes in the bright orangish color, I think, and red, probably reddish orange, and white as well. So that's the birth flavor for November. Speaking of birthdays, we have so many favorite personalities. Have to start off with the King Khan. Along with my son, he also shares the same November 2nd date with him. We do have famous personalities: Mark Twain, Leonardo DiCaprio, Winston Churchill, Scarlett Johansson, all of them birthdays sharing in November. And I do know one of our own our Toastmaster club, we have, and Arvind, I think it's your birthday that falls in November, if I got it right. Excellent. So we have someone with November birthday. Anybody else that we are missing, or I am missing?
Brilliant also.
No, you're not
Brilliant
missing anybody.
also.
My husband's birthday is on November 14th.
Oh, fantastic. Excellent.
Brilliant is also there, na, I think. Brilliant is
Jawaharlal Nehru is November 14th.
1st November. Brilliant is 1st November. 2nd is Arvind.
Ah, I see. Okay. Excellent. Excellent. And two sun signs fall in the month of November. It actually, there is a transition from Scorpio to Saggy. October 23rd to November 22nd is Scorpio. Saggy is November 23rd to December 21st. And these signs really symbolize trust, honesty, very imaginative, creative, highly energetic, idealistic, generous, and open-minded people. So a lot of positive stuff that we are talking about to all the birthdays in November and December. I mean, I'm sure you're able to instantly reflect those, Mr. Arvind. Okay, so with that, let's move to the next part of our agenda today, which is the favorite of all table topic session. May I call upon our table topic master, Toastmaster Phalgunan, to drive the session, please. Over to you, Toastmaster Phalgunan.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Sita, for taking us to November to remember. I continue with this theme in our table topics round. The purpose of this table topics is to help us sharpen our skills in impromptu speaking. Let's remember that our goal is not just to simply speak for 1 minute and provide an answer to the question. It is to perform to our best as a miniature, well-organized speech, which will be of 1 to 2 minutes duration. Is everyone ready? I have 5 topics in hand. Who would like to go first? Let me show it. I'll be sharing my screen. The topics are here. Is my screen visible?
Yes, I can take the first shot.
Okay. Choose a number.
Number 5.
Number 5. Here it is. Toastmaster Sapna. Time in life when you felt sandwiched. Time in life when you felt sandwiched. Toastmaster Sapna.
We all have housemaids at home, right? House helps at home. And they say when there are more women in the house, you will definitely feel sandwiched. And in my house, we are 3 females, right? One is my mother, another is me, and then I have my house help. And obviously my mom is turning old now, so she doesn't have patience, and then she has the OCD of tenderness. So she wants everything spick and span. She wants everything in place. She doesn't even leave me. So I remember 3 to 4 months back, my mom said something to the maid, and they both had a fight. And the maid also, obviously, my mom was no, when she starts speaking and then they don't realize, so she fought with her, and she also responded back to her in the same tone. She didn't like it. And then when I come back home, my mom very nicely, she tells me, I have removed the house help. I don't want her back. We are going to look for a new one. And I knew my mom is going to be the same with everybody. And it was almost a year that my mom is now, the housemaid is used to us. So after a day, when my mom was still looking out for a new one, I told her that you don't find people easily whom you can trust and whom you can give the home key and say, you clean the house, we are not there. And that's when she sat with me, and then she's like, but she didn't speak to me nicely. I said, you have to at times adjust with people. If you will speak to her in a harsh tone, you don't expect her to always be nice to you, right? One day she'll also respond to you in the same way. And then obviously my mom agreed and my house help came back. But after that, I still see that there are instances when I feel sandwiched, because I know my mom is exceeding a little too much beyond the limits for her to take care of. But yes, I do feel sandwiched, because if I take care of her, my mom doesn't like it. My mom is like, see, she doesn't come on time, or she doesn't do this on time, she doesn't do that on time, and you always support her. But I know that we really need her in the house, and I have to support her, and equally my mom. So I think I am sandwiched between massaging the egos, but what to do? I think that's my job in the house. Back to your table topics, Master. Phalgunan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sapna. Okay, I can see Nirrmala has raised her hand and after. Okay, first let's go Nirrmala, your feedback to Sapna.
Thank you, Toastmaster Phalgunan. Sapna, I empathize with you very much, because I have also been sandwiched now. And it's not just with my mother, it's my brother, my mother. They very conveniently come, take out the maid, and then I have to stand near the gate, my building gate, in order to find maids. So I've been through this 3 or 4 times, and now I put my foot down. I said, whoever removes the maid will go and find me a new one. So now they are much, they're very careful how they behave with them. So okay, I see you, I understand you. The only thing I wanted to know is, I just wanted to know what the maid might have said. That's the only feedback I give you. And the rest, everything is fine. I just wanted to know, you should have told us what the maid said in return and why it happened. That would have added it would have made it much more funnier and more interesting. Over to you, Toastmaster Phalgunan.
Thank you, Nirrmala, for empathizing and sharing your experience. And here is the numbers. 5 is already taken. Can choose any of the other numbers.
I'll take 1.
1. This. Protect infants. Protect infants. Toastmaster Nirrmala.
Children, they are another form of God, is what I always believed. They bring so much of happiness into our lives. So much of, we become a different kind of a person. We become more caring. We become more understanding. We become nurturing, which otherwise when we are in our teenage or when we are young, we don't understand these aspects. They make us a better person, they make us better people. Where taking care of infants are concerned, so there's so much of things happening in the world because of poverty, because of the people don't, especially in India, people don't really care about them. There are so many children who are malnourished, who are not taken care of. They have a very bad childhood. Right from their childhood, they are not taken care of by their parents, either maybe because of some, whatever, they don't have the means. But it's so important that even, of course, the government has to do their part, but even we as people, we have to understand how important children are to the country, to the world, so that they grow up into better human beings. And this is, obviously the children, they grow up to be young people, and they are the ones who take the country further. So it's very important that right from a very young, from infancy, they have to be taken care of. Else, what we are going to have, we are going to have crime rates increasing. We are going to have all these destructive habits and traits children carry with them into adulthood. So I feel that at the root level itself, when the children are born, they have to be nurtured in a way that they grow up to be good human beings. Over to you, Toastmaster Phalgunan.
Thank you, Toastmaster Nirrmala. Atul, your feedback.
Toastmaster Nirrmala has done a full justice to this topic. She tackled this from all possible directions, as a mother, as a human being, and also she had the godly, the celestial part of childhood. Infants remind us about the godliness behind it, and at the same time she also talked about the responsibilities that we have when we are breeding the infants. I was just looking for her to be slightly more forceful, whether it is good to mushroom the infants, through there is a population explosion. Though she has rightly mentioned that there is a lot of responsibility to nurture them, educate them, but then she should have forcefully said that, we should have some campaign to manage the population so that whatever infants we have, we keep them healthy, we keep them well educated. So I was expecting her to be more forceful when she's talking about responsibility with respect to infants. That's the only feedback I would like to give on both positive as well as improvement areas. Over to you.
Thank you, Atul. And here the screen. Topic 1 and 5 is done. The balance 3 you can choose.
So it is cricket season. Let me pick up 4. Chawwa.
And 4 is Toastmaster Atul. Children are like buds in a garden. Children's are like buds in a garden. Toastmaster Atul.
Table topics master and fellow Toastmasters. I could not agree more with this. Children are like birds in the garden. Yes. As birds blossom into colorful, eye-pleasing, full flowers, same way children are our future. Children will move forward the mankind. We have to do everything possible to see that the birds are not destroyed. We have to protect, we have to nourish the plants in which those birds are there. Children, as my previous speaker has mentioned, they are the reflection of God. They have a lot of responsibilities. We have rather a lot of responsibility towards them. At the same time, though we should encourage the infants' arrival into the world, at the same time, we should make sure that the quality growth of infants is there. It should not deviate into, as my previous speaker had mentioned, into them developing into the anti-social elements. So in short, while we have the birds, delicate birds, we should see that they get enough education, enough health and care. And once they blossom into full flower, once they grow into adulthood, they come out as responsible citizens so that they sustain, they develop, they burgeon our mankind with more successes. They burgeon with their ideas so that we, older people, benefit. We are in the safer hands in the in these birds which will grow into the full citizenhood. Over to you, table topics master.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Thanks for using the word of the day. That's again, if two more topics, would request the balance speakers to also use the word of the day. Possible. And Toastmaster Jay, your feedback to Toastmaster.
Sure. Toastmaster Srivastava, Toastmaster Atul Srivastava. So you have used infant, you have also used, I think, senior citizen or the old people. From the 0 till the 100, you across the line you came. Our topic was the children birth garden. So I thought you might be just stay around the garden only or near to the infants. But as we approached with the time, then you started to deviate, not 100% the deviation, but in a different paradigms where the infant became a adult and then could help the older people, so that you could try to stick with the point only and then avoid to go that, because that is your attendance. You always want to go in your school days, so that you could avoid and then stay in one phase only. That was the only my opinion. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jay. Here is the screen sharing. We have topic number 2 and 3, which is balance.
Two.
Toastmaster Jay, life as a vegan, life as a vegan, Toastmaster Jay.
Life as a vegan. The experience which I want to share with all of you. Let me tell you, until 2009, I was not having any issue. Doesn't matter it's chicken or doesn't matter it's mutton. I never asked to anyone what is it. Only sometime I asked, is it beef or not? That's the only thing. A part of that, everything was okay for me. But after marriage, then I decided, no, I will not even touch the flesh. And everything was going very well. But one day I was in the Netherlands, for one of my meetings. Then I observed, okay, now it's 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, nothing is there. Then at 12 o'clock, I said, now it's time for lunch. Can we stop the meeting? Can we hold it for some time and then have a lunch? Yeah, Jaya, definitely we can do. Let's go in the canteen. We went there and then I said, I'm sorry, I can't eat non-veg. So could you please suggest me anything vegan? I said, yeah, definitely you can have it. Sauce is there. It's vegan. Boiled potato is there. It's also vegan. And chocolate is also vegan. Then I said, what I have to do? I put sauce in the chocolate, or should I put chocolate on the potato? There was only these three options. Somehow I managed only with boiled potato with some salt and then pick few chocolates. However, it was really very painful experience at least for me, because from early morning from 4 o'clock I ate nothing. At 12 o'clock I got only this. My friends, vegan is okay, but in my opinion, you must not be so strict. Otherwise, you will be also in the same problem as like I faced. No need to make it concrete rule. Just enjoy the life. Thank you and over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Jay. Who would want to give? Okay, I see Girija who's raised her hand. Yes, Girija, your turn. Your feedback to Jay.
Yes. Jay, as usual, was very enthusiastic in his response to the topic. He talked about the dilemma that he faced as a vegetarian, how he shifted from being a non-vegetarian to vegetarian, but he did not exactly get into the details of being vegan. When you talk about a vegan, You don't even take any milk product. So chocolate is also not an option for you because most of the chocolates also have milk. So you would probably end up only with potatoes. I'm not even aware if sauce also has some of the butter and some of those elements will be there in the sauce also. So that probably was the only thing that missing, the distinction between the two. But there was passion in the way you spoke, which is what I liked. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Girija, for your
I know
feedback.
options, so the topic is 3.
Yes, it would be number 3. Toastmaster Girija, one act of kindness that you cherish the most. One act of kindness that you cherish the most. Toastmaster Girija.
Life has been a beautiful experience because of the kindness that I've received from several people. It is so difficult to mark one act of kindness, though I would talk about one act of kindness which I received from a total stranger. I used to come from Dombivli with both my children because they had to attend school in Vidya Vihar. I was thrown out of my own house and I was coming from Dombivli to this place. It was just the beginning, 3-4 days after that, but I could not omit school because I had received a notice from the school. If the children do not attend school, then they'll be evicted. So we were coming all the way. And one of the neighbors said, one of the co-passengers said, why are you traveling all the way from Dombivli to Vidya Vihar? There are good schools nearby. You can put in, there are very good schools. If you want, I can get you admission. Such small children and you're traveling all the way. So I said, no, I think we will get back to Ghatkopar where we live because I believe that something like this cannot happen to me. And father will love the daughters. But then my daughter was very small. So she opened up and she said, no, but what can we do? We are thrown out of the house and my mom says that we will go back. And that lady immediately inquired the next day and came and told me that already a case has been filed against you in the police station. I'm taking you to the lawyer. She took leave off and she took me to the lawyer and she took the plunge and she took the decision. She came to my father. She explained, because totally it was all unknown to us. And she explained to my father why it is important that I have to file for it because the house is bought by my father and I'm thrown out of the house. So that is how I got back my house. So I owe it to her today. Those days, there was no cell phone. I couldn't keep track with her. There is not a single day I miss her in my prayers. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to express that.
Thank you, Toastmaster Girija. Anyone who can give feedback to Toastmasters Girija's speech? We have finished with all the topics. The only feedback. Yes, I can see Seetha.
Today. Yes, it's always fantastic to hear from our Toastmaster Girija. And in this specific topic, she was to the point. It was a personal story that she picked up and she was completely into it, made us as an audience to really understand who was that person, what did she actually do. So totally very, very apt way of instantly picking up and relating it to the theme. So I don't have any specific points in terms of areas of impairment. Fantastic job. Thank you, Toastmaster Girija. Back to you, table topic master.
Thank you, Toastmasters Seetha. And thank you, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the table topic session. And it was wonderful listening to each one of you. I'm also sharing the timing report, the chat. And back to you, Toastmaster Seetha.
Thank you, table topic master, Toastmaster Phalgunan. I felt this entire 5 topics was a sort of an intellectual revolution where creativity was burgeoning to multiple layers and levels as each speaker, table topic Toastmasters came and started expressing their views about the topic. Fantastic, thoroughly enjoyed it. Before we go on to the last section of today's Toastmasters, our event, something related to our theme, which is November to remember. It's important to also remember some of the days, and table topic master already pointed out some of these important days that comes in the month of November. Before I go to the actual days, we've been always talking about greater things, something which I, as a fan of one of the presidents of US, I'm referring to JFK, John F. Kennedy, who unfortunately was assassinated on November 22, fatally shot while riding along with his wife. You've seen the movies. That unfortunate incident also happened in November, and there were many other unfortunate incidents which we don't want to talk about here, but this being a great man, unfortunately got shot. Coming to the other aspects, the other important days, many of them was already seen as part of the table topic session. There is a Thanksgiving Day, which is celebrated in the US. People don't remember more of the Thanksgiving Day. They remember the Friday that comes after that, considering the discounts. It's sad, but at the same time, that's what is very well known. There is a Thanksgiving Day. There is also a National Cancer Awareness Day that happens around November 7th. Children's Day we have on November 14th. We do have International Men's Day. Men out there, some cheer in your faces. Yay. We do have that around November 19th. November 12th. Can anybody guess? It's not Googling. Something special about today in the month of November, November 12th. Anybody? Tough one. But
education. It's an education day.
It's actually, there are two other days. Chicken Soup Day, I discount that. There is it's a National Happy Heart Day. That's what today, November 12th, is also known for. As I also learned it as part of conducting this session. So thank you, everyone. With that, let's go to the last section. May I invite our general evaluator, Toastmaster Arvind Nair, to read out the overall objectives of evaluation and introduce his team. I believe we have the lead evaluator, delivery as well as content today. Over to you, our general evaluator, Toastmaster Arvind.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Fellow Toastmasters, good day to you. It's my task to help the club burgeon, and that's why I'm here, to help and understand and to share my experience in how you could grow and become better. To help me with this, we would now begin with the evaluation of the prepared speeches that we've just heard. May I invite the timer to let us know the timing guidelines for the evaluation.
Thank you, General Evaluator Arvind. Today there were two speeches and there are two speech coaches for us. Each of the coaches will have 4 minutes of time, whereby they will cover the speech objectives, content, and delivery aspects. I shall show the green card at 3 minutes, yellow at 3.5, and red at 4 minutes. Thank you. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Phalgunan. And now may I invite Nirrmala as the lead coach for Jai's speech.
Thank you, Toastmaster Arvind. Toastmaster Jai, he is always burgeoning with thoughts and ideas, and this has been seen in all his speeches and role plays. When I asked him his speech title, he simply messaged YLP, and I was hooked from there on. Reaching consensus. Toastmaster Jai, your project focus was on reaching consensus and the importance of including all present in the decision-making process. You started your project with how the school where you had to make a presentation, charge an unaffordable amount, and then moved on to finding a better deal where you had to convince the venue management to rent the polytechnic property for the amount that was suggested. Here, the negotiation was about renting a venue, which you identified as the polytechnic, where they were not willing to rent out. You came up with a brilliant strategy, killing two birds with one stone, and managed to get the venue by doing a barter of sorts. That is, conducting the youth leadership program in Toastmasters, the 8 sessions where you get the credit in return of getting the venue. A win-win situation. All was well here. You definitely met the criteria and objectives of the speech. What I did not find in your speech was a structured approach. It started and went on just like a narration. the speech could have been structured a little differently so that the problem you were facing, the process towards the solution, and the solution derived was much clearer and auditorily visible, meaning the audience could visualize it in a much better manner. This could have been done with the help of reducing your speaking speed. Many of the areas, it was something that was just going on, including relevant pauses, some effective body language, and face animation. Let me give you two examples. First was when the Polytechnic representative said, "We don't rent out the premise at no cost." This could have been done in a conversation mode. You're talking to the person. "No, we don't rent out the premise." It could have been said in a different voice. And the dialogue you had with the representative could have been done with a different voice. Second, the time when the idea of conducting the youth leadership program entered your head, you could have said, "Eureka, we can do a barter youth leadership program for using the Polytechnic venue." These are just two examples that where you could have used all these dialogues and animation and body language to amplify the speech, to make the speech much better. With these improvements, your speech would have gathered the much needed grip and, of course, listeners' interest. Apart from these improvements, your speech gave us a much needed lesson that when we put our minds, when we put our mind, heart, emotion, and action to it, achieving something impossible becomes "I am possible." Over to you, Toastmaster Arvind.
Thank you, Nirrmala. And Jai, would you like to give your response?
Accept it all. Thank you.
Thank you, Jai. And now may I invite Sapna to present the evaluation for Girija's speech.
Thank you so much for that, General Evaluator. Girija, a beautiful message for all of us today here. And I'll sum that up in a quote. "There is no influence so powerful as that of a mother." This is what Sarah Joseph Hale says. You had a very strong character portrayal of your mother in your speech. I literally could understand that your mother was someone who valued love, happiness, family, modesty, living life to the fullest. I could just foresee her. Maybe I don't have a face to the character because I've not seen her, but I could literally see her there right in front of me, and how your speech word by word just started bringing up or building up the character one at a time. The beautiful values that came out through your three stories, which is experiences above money. Cages are created in the mind. One must own and respect the sense of responsibility, and one should live life with no regrets. So these were the beautiful values that came out of your speech. Now coming out to what you could have done better, and there are a lot many, since you are a division level contestant, so I think you need to look at it. First of all, when you have a beautiful speech like this, I would want you to start with an inspirational quote. A quote that can hook your audience. The topic in itself is so emotional, but you need to give the chance to your audiences to hook to your speech. Please come up with a beautiful quote. I just picked up this quote from Google, and I'm sure you can come up with something more beautiful than this one. Second important piece. Since you had 3 stories, and I have always gone back and I've told people, have only 2 stories. In 7 minutes, you can only cover 2 stories, and you can do justice to 2 stories. The reasons why, because otherwise, when you have multiple stories, you tend to go fast. And when you tend to go fast, you lose out on the emotions. And when you lose out on the emotions in the speech, your connect with the audiences loses. When you lose your connect with the audiences, obviously when the people who are looking at the ballot and the judges, the entire connect just goes off. Then your speech becomes like any other speech being delivered without any emotions, and I will never remember it for the rest of my life. So pick up 2 best stories that are very close to your heart. And I would still say your second story and your third story are the ones that you can actually have in your speech, and you can build up from that. Opening of the speech, why don't you start with the story rather than coming back and telling us that your mother wears, a mother wears multiple hats? That can be your ending of when you end your stories. Then you can actually talk about how a mother wears multiple hats. She's a teacher, she's a trainer, she's a secretary, she's a homemaker, she's everything all in one. And that is how in our culture, how we respect our mother, or how mothers are looked at. Third important thing, tone and voice modulation. In all your stories, you had a lot of characters. You had your father, then you had when you move on to your third story, you had brothers, sisters around. And I felt that everybody had the same voice. I couldn't differentiate the characters between who was Girija, who was the mother, who was the father. When your mother was speaking when she had cancer, what were her thoughts? Right? So and who was the principal as well? So the use of stage, your screen is your stage, and your voice modulation will add more drama to your own story, which is required for people to get hooked onto. And then, as I said, the story, since you had 3 stories, you did not have an appropriate ending. You always need to ensure that your ending of the speech relates back to the beginning of the speech. That's how you close the loop. So with this, a beautiful story, a very influential one, very strong character portrait for your mother, and very strong values instilled. But if you work on voice modulation, cutting down on the stories, and use of stage, along with how you have an opening body and a conclusion, the opening and the ending, you will have a fantabulous speech at the division contest. Oh, back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you, Sapna. And may I now invite the timer for the timing report.
Toastmaster Nirrmala took 3 minutes, 21 seconds and 71 milliseconds. Sapna took 4 minutes, 21 seconds and 13 milliseconds. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you, Phalgunan. And now let's go in for the evaluations or for the reports. May I ask Atul Srivastava, the language evaluator coach, to submit his report for this meeting.
Thank you, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Arvind. Good evening, everyone. Everybody that spoke in today's meeting was burgeoning with good thoughts, good suggestions, and inspirational stories to take from. There were very good uses of English language, and I would like to quote some of them. November to remember, how to reach consensus, lofty values that they have taught you, cages are created in minds, chrysanthemum symbolizes cheerfulness, killing 2 birds with 1 stone, eureka, we can do it better. I could note some areas of improvement. For example, credit could have been pronounced as credit. Physical could have been pronounced as physical. No flush could have been no flesh. Same problem like as I landed in could have been said as same problem as I landed in. And children's are like birds could have been pronounced as children are like birds. Regarding usage of word of the day, that is burgeoning. Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Seetha used it thrice. Toastmaster Arvind used it once. Toastmaster Nirrmala used it once. And myself, Atul, used it twice. Back to you, General Evaluator Arvind.
Thank you, language coach Atul Srivastava. And now for my general evaluation of the meeting. I think we began the meeting nearly about 11 to 12 minutes late, trying to herd in the herds. We should avoid such a thing, and if possible, we should try and be here at least, if not 5 minutes, at least 3 minutes before the session starts so that we can interact and mingle. And if we know that we are going to be late, we should try to check ourselves and try to be at a place where we can get into it and have all our equipment, etc., loaded and not getting to die. So let's be careful. We are an advanced club and we need to be in an advanced way, ready to. We are lucky today we do not have any visitors, but then that wouldn't show us in good light. The meeting started, like I said, yes, the Sergeant at Arms began the meeting with the mission and also started engaging with a question and yes, the Sergeant at Arms used lovely adjectives to introduce the presiding officer, and the presiding officer did interview. I wish the presiding officer had just given maybe a minute or two, some inspirational speech before introducing or speaking about the Toastmaster of the Day. The Toastmaster of the Day, great theme for today. November to Remember started off wonderfully with the song from by Guns N' Roses. And I think the research was done so well that he covered food, places, gemstones, flowers, and sun signs. And yes, and all done very well and spaced between the speeches and the other parts of the meeting. Great job, Toastmaster of the Day. I would like if you name yourself as TM small o and D instead of the capital O. That is about the Toastmaster of the Day. Then we have the timer, giving the timing guidelines. Well done, Phalgunan, and also played the role of the table topics master, which was done well with good explanations, and I think went with the theme and brought in topics related to November. Then we had, those were all good. I think those were the only role players that we had today. And I hope I haven't missed anybody, but then let me now go. Yes, Atul, your review was good. I would like to add some more to it, which I have got. Okay. We have a child in us, managing egos, celestial, the word barter, auditorially visible, and the much needed grip and face animation. Those were lovely words that came out today. What I did not, there was some not so good usage was one of my friend, it's actually friends, one amongst many would be that many has to be made. So it has to say one of my friends. To think is present and the past is thought. So I thought a lot and not I thinked a lot. Somebody said small, somebody said diyas. I think it could have been translated, if it's an English Toastmasters meeting, to small lamps or mud lamps that are floated. You don't respond back, but you just respond, because when you respond, you are giving you're mentioning it back to the person. So the word back need not be mentioned. It's just respond. A few pronunciation errors. When we talk of a paper cover, it's to be pronounced as envelope and not envelope. When you envelope, you surround it. It's called envelope to surround, and envelope is that cover, envelope. It's not vegan, it's vegan. Though there's only one E in it, it has to be pronounced as vegan. I heard somebody say honor. H is silent. It has to be honor. Girija, there's one more thing that I would like to talk to you about your speech. At the division level, it is okay if you said from Nagarcoil to Chennai, because we are all Indians and perhaps we may know that the distance is large or long. But when you go on to the district stage, and if you win, then your speech goes directly to the international level, and always be in such a way that you have international judges from different countries judging that at the quarterfinals. So let's be kind to them let them not go to Google and find out how long and what the distance between Nagarcoil and Chennai is. So you could mention, say, in kilometers or hours of travel from where you are would be better, right? So you have to be careful, because every step that you take, you have to keep improvising and changing what it is to suit the judges that are going to listen to you. So you have to be careful on that. Those were some of the things that I noticed today. And Jai, you need to mention, I know we are all advanced, or we are Toastmasters with so many years of experience, but if we were to have a guest here, what is YLP? Do not use short forms. Youth Leadership Program must be mentioned. Thank you, and over to Seetha.
Thank you. Thank you so much, General Evaluator, Toastmaster Arvind. As always, we are so intense, and I was looking at each one of us, trying to see what is the new learning that we have. As always, thank you so much. Brilliant learning from this session and these feedbacks. So can we now open up for voting? May I request, I don't know, maybe Phalgunan, Toastmaster Phalgunan, to open up the voting meter while we are about to see that, and we cast our votes, reflecting the final thoughts about our theme, November to Remember. I just came across an anonymous proverb which goes like this: one kind word can warm 3 winters ahead. I just changed it slightly. One kind word can warm 4 winter months ahead. We do have November, December, January, and I know north of India is still cooler around February. One kind word can warm 4 winter months ahead, November, December, Jan, and Feb. Can we all, in this month of November, on November 12, take an oath to be as cheerful like a chrysanthemum, be as radiant as the topaz gemstone, be more conscious and aware for all the genuine causes, and involve in the act of thanksgiving, truly not for the Black Friday sale, but for truly thanksgiving from our own hearts. Thank you, and back to our presiding officer, Toastmaster Girija.
Can everyone vote for the best
Speech coach, I have voted, yes. Everybody has voted? That's on the chat link.
There are 4 votes received.
Okay, I saw only that.
Just give me 30 seconds. As I was speaking, I couldn't vote. Let me vote.
We have only received one, best speech coach.
Yeah, only one has come in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, I'll be sharing the other ones.
Okay.
The silence is deafening. Maybe our presiding officer can speak about something.
voted for the best table topic speaker also, right? So how many more votes coming up? I think we will have for the auxiliary role players and the primary role players.
There are 4 people only voted for the best table topic speaker.
Okay.
And others also vote. Yeah.
It is there on the chat.
5 now. Yeah. Five only. Can others also vote? Okay, I'm closing the vote for best table topic speaker. And here it is for best of big 3.
Okay. Best of big 3 also done.
Okay, Girija, you can speak. I'll just share the results.
Yeah, but what about the auxiliary?
I'm sharing that as
Yeah,
well.
you're
You
sharing
can
that? Okay, okay.
something.
Today it was complete a gamut of experiences. He talked about this, taste, the smell, the different objects of gem like sites and the various places, tourist places. There was a lot to feel and think. Different dimensions of the human beings which are very important. Every facet Sita touched with this, the way he took over the November to remember, and also went through history, important people. So that is why there was a lot of to collect. There is knowledge, there is information, feeling, experiences, sharing. It was, and at the same time, very short snippets. It was not long. So before we could realize what is it we are getting and then understand, we are just taking it in and then he moves on. So it was very interesting. Very nice. A lot of work has gone in. I can see that. Thank you so much. Is the next one launched?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. I did find grammarian in it, right?
Language evaluator is
Language evaluator. Yes. Got yes. Yeah.
There was no accounter today.
Yeah.
Table topics master, you should have put one more against your name as timer plus that.
Oh, there are
sorry.
Best of big 3s.
Best of big 3.
Big
All
3,
right, sorry.
yeah. That has come through.
Okay.
You got the votes from everyone?
Yes, and I have the results populated. I can share the screen.
Okay.
Shall I?
Yes. Do share the screen.
Okay. My screen visible?
Yes. So best speech coach, Sapna has got 83.3%. Congratulations, Sapna. Oh, best table topic speaker happens to be me. Thank you. Toastmaster of the day again. Congratulations.
Best of victory.
Sita. Best of victory. Congratulations, Sita. Yes. Auxiliary role player. Okay. Atul, language evaluator. Congratulations, Atul. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Arvind, for supporting me with some add-on.
Arvind always does that, adds value all the time. All the time. Right. I had that doubt about envelope or envelope. Thanks for clarifying. I was anyway about to call you and ask you about this. I had this doubt. So I think what I heard from Sapna, I will have to turn the speech topsy-turvy. What I started with, she wants me to put it at the end. So let me see how I can refine that, and probably I'll come back. We can have one more session if possible.
You can close the meeting first.
Yes. Okay.
Stop
Yeah.
the record.
Right. Yes. So I adjourn the meeting for today. Thank you so much, every one of you, for participating and your excellent contribution. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Yeah, Girija.
Yes. So for Sapna's information, we've closed the
Arvind was
recording.
selling something.
No, recording, stop the recording.
Yeah.
Stop the
Still-
recording.
But I think Sapna has to do it. She's the host now. She has to stop it.
Then let's wait till she does it, and
Yeah.
we can't.
Because she's the host.
Jai. Oh, you could have told her to make you the co-host.
Yeah.
There is no co-host here.
Okay.
Okay, I'll just dial her.
Yeah.
Okay, Sita, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night. Good night.
Night. What do we do?
I'm just calling her.
Okay. I actually have to start my.
So let's. We can't all go off. No, the thing would still be on.
there
Hello.
she is. Sapna,
I'm here. I'm sorry.
recording.
Stop
is
recording.
Yes.
Oh, did I? One
You are the
second.
host.
I wasn't recording it. Who was recording it?
I was recording.
I know,
Stop
but
it
then she
because
made
you're
you the host, and she's not the co-host also.
I am not able to record it actually. One second, I'll make her the host.
Stop
Hold on.
recording. Yeah. Okay.
I am not able to actually do that.
Good. Okay. You make me the host, then
Yeah.
maybe I'll be able to do it.
Yeah. I have just made
Yes.
you the host.
Now
You'll
I
have to
can
stop
do
because
that. Yes.
it's asking me to record to computer or cloud. Sorry, I had to go and feed my dog. So,
Okay.
and I had to sit with her for some time.
No issues. Just this recording thing came.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, we have
Yeah.
adjourned the meeting.
Okay.
I don't know. It is not.
You're the winner.
Yes.